السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، جزاكم الله خير. My dear respected brothers and sisters, جزاكم الله for tuning in. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this gathering and make this gathering for His sake. Brothers and sisters, one of the lessons that we are taught by Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is that we have responsibilities that we must do. And last time we spoke about the responsibility toward yourself and your family, yourself. And today we're going to be talking about the responsibility toward the Ummah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Believe it or not, we as Muslims, we have a responsibility as an individual toward your Muslim fellow brothers and sisters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mentioned this so many times in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا لَكُمْ لَا تُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَالْمُسْتَضْعَفِينَ مِنَ الرِّجَالِ وَالنِّسَاءِ وَالْوِلْدَانِ الذين يقولون ربنا أخرجنا من هذه القرية الظالم أهلها واجعل لنا من لدنك وليا واجعل لنا من لدنك نصيرا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about why Muslims, you see, people are not helping their fellow Muslim brothers and sisters who are being transgressed upon, who are being oppressed, and that we're not helping them, we're not fighting for their cause, we're not reaching our hands to help them out, And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it's a mandatory. And believe it or not, brothers and sisters, when your brother and sisters is helping you, and you have a just ruler that could call for for the right things, when you have a just ruler that call for the right things, a responsible individual that could make and raise the slogan of Islam, then it's not a matter of option. It's a matter of being mandatory on the Muslim individual. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِنِ اسْتَنصَرُوكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ فَعَلَيْكُمُ النَّصْرُ إِلَّا عَلَىٰ قَوْمٍ بَيْنَكُمْ وَبَيْنَهُمْ مِيثَاقٌ. And if they ask for your rescue, then you should rescue them. If you ask for your help, then you should help them. When you see our brothers and sisters being oppressed, and sometimes, yes, maybe sometimes we don't have all the the power, we don't have the things that we could help them out with it. I mean, at least we should feel for them, at least make dua for them. If you could make donations to help them and uplift them through legitimate means and legal means, then why not? It's a responsibility that we should do. Brothers and sisters, our responsibility toward our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters is something that is mandatory and something that is natural. Yeah, subhanAllah, it's natural for any person who belongs to any religion or any cult that he should feel a responsibility toward his own people. Like, for instance, the Christian would feel responsible toward his own fellow Christian brothers and sisters. The Hindu would feel responsible toward his fellow Hindus, and the same thing for the Muslim. And even granted, because here it's something that is written, it is something that is prescribed, that is something that is mandatory. It's an order from Rabbil Alameen. And it's not, here we're not just talking about brothers and sisters. Here we're not talking about just financial and physical help, even religious. Yeah. What does that mean? Meaning that if you saw your brother or your sister is doing something wrong and you're not doing anything about it to help them out and to advise them and tell them what the right from the wrong, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brothers and sisters, have criticized previous nation for the fact that they have not been doing that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كانوا لا يتناهون عن منكر فعلوه لبئس ما كانوا يعملون. That when they used to see someone doing something wrong, they did not used to open their mouth. They used to like, oh, he's doing this haram thing. He could just do whatever he want to do. Lakum dinikum walidin, as sometimes people misquote that verse. You do whatever you think is appropriate. I'll do whatever I think of. No, when you see something wrong, you have an obligation, especially if you have the power and the means to do this in the rational, sophisticated way to criticize and pinpoint and tell and advise the people who are surrounding you. Brothers and sisters, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave us a very powerful hadith that talks about this issue. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, look at this. مثل القائم على حدود الله والواقع فيها. The example of someone who is standing upright and defending the deen and telling people and advising people to do the right from the wrong are versus someone who is sinful, who is doing sins left and right. كمثل قوم استهموا على سفينة. It's the example of, let's say, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam give an example of people going into a ship. Okay. فأصاب بعضهم أعلاها وبعضهم أسفلها. That imagine, brothers and sisters, that a group of people have entered into a ship, and part of this group was on the top of the ship, and the other part was inside of the ship. فكان الذين في أسفلها إذا استقوا من الماء مروا على من فوقهم فقالوا لو أن خرقنا في نصيبنا خرقا ولن نؤذي من فوقنا. So the people on the side of the ship, every time they wanted water, they said, they felt that it's too much for them to go upstairs and bother the people on top. And they were like, you know what? And instead of us going upstairs and asking the people on top for the water, why don't we just drill a hole in the ship, and the water would just come to us through the hole that is surround us, So Prophet Muhammad said, فإن يتركوهم وما أرادوا هلكوا جميعا وإن أخذوا على أيديهم نجوا ونجوا جميعا. So if the people on top have let them do whatever they want to do, so imagine this. Let's say the people on top, let them drill a hole in the ship. What's going to happen? All of them is going to sink. All of them going to drown. But if people on top told them, no, don't do this, and they stopped them and they advised them in the most, initially in the most, nice way, and maybe they had to do, maybe they had to physically stop them. But if they have done so, what happened? All of them are rescued. And the same thing, brothers and sisters. When someone, brothers and sisters, he, advises his own family, advises his own surrounding, this is a way for him to save himself and save his surrounding. واتقوا فتنة لا تصيبن الذين ظلموا منكم خاصة. Prophet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, he said, fear a fitna that is not going to just going to inflict the people who was committing the sins only, but everybody else. So the thing is, that's the issue, brothers and sisters. When we are calling people to do what is right and advising them and telling them, we're just not saving them only, but we're saving also ourselves. Because when the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes, it comes on everyone. It comes on everyone. And all of us know the example of the people of that Saturday. What happened? People were the people were catching fish on Sunday, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them not to catch it on Saturday. So what happened? What they ended up doing? They played with the rules. So they were releasing their net on Friday. So technically they were catching fish on Saturday, and they were and then so the nets were catching fish on Saturday, but they were not collecting it, but they were collecting it on Sunday. But what happened? So what happened is, because they were doing this and they were violating the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people divided into three categories. People who are what? Committing the sin. People who are standby, they did not say, they said, you know what? We got nothing to do with this. But they were not committing the sin. They were not committing the sin. They were just watching. Yeah. And the third people are the people who are the Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy al Munkar, people who advise them. But when the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came, who did it include? included the people who are committing the sin and the people who were silent. Why? Because they were silent. And the only people, أنجينا الذين كانوا ينهون عن السوء, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved those only who were what? Who were forbidding the wrong from happening. And that's why it's an obligation, brothers and sisters, when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, من رأى منكم منكرا فيغيره بيده فإن لم يستطع فبلسانه فإن لم يستطع فبقلبه وذلك أضعف الإيمان. He said when somebody saw something wrong, he should change with his hand if you have the power. Like for instance, if you have a police officer, if you have a governor, if you have the power to use your things physically, then you use your hand. If you can't, then with your tongue. If you can't, then with your heart. And that's the least thing. That's the least of faith. At least you hate it. Like let's say you have no power to do anything, but at least you hate it. You don't high five people who are doing the haram. Oh yeah, it's no high five. I at least, and the minimum is that I hate what you are doing from my heart because I think it's bad for you. But unfortunately, brothers and sisters, we live in a time where people nowadays are what? Misquoting the Quran. Misquoting the Quran and playing with the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they would quote the ayahs. لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينٍ. Yes, لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينٍ. It's true. You have your religion and I have mine. Yes. But this is after what? After I advise. Yeah, look at this ayah. This ayah came after what? This ayah, لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينٍ, came after what? قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. After the person have told them, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ وَلَا أَنَا عَابِدٌ مَا عَبَدتُّمْ لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينٍ. At the end, لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينٍ. After what he told the disbelievers that I don't worship what you worship. I have my Lord and you have your Lord. I have my religion. And then after that, لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينٍ. You have my religion, I have mine. But after what? After advising, after telling the people the right from the wrong. After showing them the right path, after showing them the light. Another ayah that some people misquote, يا أيها الذين آمنوا عليكم أنفسكم لا يضركم من ضل إذا اهتديتم. And this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, O you who believe, take care of yourself. Whoever misguided would not bother you. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, he said, O people, you recite this ayah and you misquote it or mistranslated. And he said, وَإِنِّي سَمِعْتُ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ, and I heard Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إِنَّ النَّاسَ إِذَا رَأَوْا الظَّالِمَ فَلَمْ يَأْخُذُوا عَلَى يَدَيْهِ أَوْشَكَ أَنْ يَعِمَّهُ اللَّهُ بِعِقَابِهِ. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I heard the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إِنَّ النَّاسَ إِذَا رَأَوْا الظَّالِمَ, that if people have seen the person who's doing wrong, the transgressor, فَلَمْ يَأْخُذُوا عَلَى يَدِهِ, and they have not prevented him from doing the wrong, أوشك أن يعمهم الله بعقابه, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would his punishment would come down on all and everybody else, on them and on because they did not do anything. They did not tell them the right from the wrong. And if you are not doing your part, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to include everyone, because the person who's committing the sin, obviously, and the person who was quiet, because if you were quiet, meaning that you were happy with it. You were what? Happy with it. Another example. Why, and maybe people who are listening can participate, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished the wife of Sayyidina Lut? Anyone who is listening, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punish the wife of Sayyidina Lut, even though she was not committing the haram of his people, right? Why? Again, I'm going to answer this again. Whoever have the answer, I'm going to make dua for him, inshallah. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished the wife of Sayyidina Lut? Huh? Anyone? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no one is answering, subhanallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished the wife of Sayyidina Lut because she was quiet. She was quiet. She did not, she did not criticize. She did not pinpoint. She was okay with it. She was not doing this, the fahisha. She was not doing committing the sin, but she was okay with it. And because of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished her with his people. With his people. And that's what, brothers and sisters, at one time Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he woke up one day while his face is red. He said, what is wrong? He said, La ilaha illallah, waylun lil Arab min sharrin qad iqtarab. Oh, woe to the Arabs. Something disastrous is about to happen. What happened? They asked. They said, فتح اليوم من ردم يأجوج ومأجوج مثل هذه. Prophet said that the barrier that keeps the people of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, the people who's going to come at the end of times, a hole was in the wall. They were able to penetrate the wall with a hole that much, Then, then they asked Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, أنهلك وفينا الصالحون. Are we going to be destroyed while there are righteous people among us? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, look at the answer. نعم إذا كثر الخبث. He said, yes, if there is too much evil. And why did the too much evil existed? Because what? Because people were silent. And that's what, brothers and sisters, we have to feel for each other. We have to take care of the people. We have to advise the people. We have to have empathy for your brothers and sisters in faith. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, مثل المؤمنين في تودهم وتراحمهم. The example of how the believers they take care of each other and they are merciful in each other. مثل الجسد إذا اشتكى منه عضو تضاعف له سائر الجسد بالسهر والحمى. The example of how we should be taking care of each other. The example of how should be we all of us should be merciful with each other is the example of a body. What happened with a human, when one body ache, then the rest of the body ache. If you have a headache, then the rest of the body feels it. If you have a cut in your finger, the rest of your body would feel it. And that's the example that we're talking about, brothers and sisters. That we should be feeling for each other. We should be taking care of each other. We should be advising each other. We should be making dua for each other. If my Muslim brother and sister is hurt in Pakistan, in India, in any part of the world, I should feel for him because he's my Muslim brother and sister. I should make dua for him. I should feel his pain. And the same thing in the other way around. This is the responsibility of a Muslim toward his fellow Muslim brothers and sisters. Jazakumullah khair, brothers and sisters. This is what I have for you today. And I hope this became beneficial to all of you. جزاكم الله خير لحسن معكم. سبحانك وبحمدك نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين يعملون الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. جزاكم الله خير والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.